So let's start standing. Clearing your throat if you need to. And just finding a place where you can sense yourself, whatever that may mean for you. So feeling the earth beneath you, feeling their support, sometimes support that we don't think about. Take a moment to just feel the quality of your physical being, your breath, your attention, maybe even your voice. It's like early, just as our baseline. For me, embodied practice is a practice of observation rather than of performance. So this is really about your internal conversation with yourself. A morning practice is our way to reconnect, to find ourselves more every day. And we're going to start with a little bounce. And consider my suggestions as that, like it's a buffet and you get to taste, and you can bounce faster, slower, more aggressive, more lazy. But I'd like you to move your positioning a little bit and explore getting this bounce into every nook and cranny. And you keep going as we find more friends arriving. And you might make some sounds as well. Feel free. And you can play with like bending the arms, feel the bounce go into your hands a little more. Maybe your lips, maybe a little alternating. Maybe some balancing, you can hold on to something or work a little balance and free one limb at a time. Getting our prana awake, our chi flowing, our proprioception, our sense of ourself, a little bit of blood flow, a little bit of temperature, and a little bit of the sense of letting go. So we can give into gravity and it gives back. This bounciness is really good training for youthfulness in our tissues. Let's let our arms come above the heart. And again, feel what feels good for you. You don't have to join. Welcome to our friends who are coming in now. And I'm still bouncing from the ground. It's like so easy. But I feel like I'm freeing my wings, my lungs. Maybe look around, get some rotation. This is also a tremendously powerful practice for immunity in the fall season to get our lymph flowing. Last few minutes, anything that hasn't quite jiggled itself awake this morning. I do this every day. If there's one thing I'll be doing when I'm 108 with my tea in the kitchen, it's going to be bouncing around. And this, start to slow it down, nothing abrupt, just smaller, softer. Until you can sense what that might have given to you in your presence, your sense of yourself. And we're going to go with some different input similar to that. Now with a little tapping. So we could tap with our fingers, we could tap with our knuckles, we could tap with our hands, the back of the hands. They're all slightly different. And I'd like you to, again, tune into the listening with what feels really good. And start with your fingertips around your head. And it's like we're painting ourselves with this tap. But you're also getting some information, like where's the bony things. Just be curious in this relationship with the giving and the feeling, the receiving. Empty your jaw, make some faces. Tap around your ears, in front and the back. And then on your neck, sometimes it feels like a very tightly strung guitar. This can go anywhere, everywhere. I'm going to be a little bit of a guide. Go ahead and tap on your collarbones. Feeling this vibration in the bones, tap on your sternum. is also extremely helpful to calm the nervous system in any moment. So we're going to be kind of dropping in lots of tiny little practices along the way today. And this is one of them, as is the shaking. Give yourself a pat on the back. Say good job. And then down your arm, we'll go 3 times. Include your hand and find a different pathway each time. And let there be some love in the tap. On the last one, come to your pinky finger side, stretch that arm up and tap down through the armpit and the side of the ribs and around the belly. To the other side, good job. Free breath. And down the arms. And up. Different pathway 3 times. The tissue has different types of proprioceptors. The last one, karate chop side, and a little stretch. And they respond to different types of pressure and force information. So we're just getting more of our embodied awareness online. Let's go to the hips. I like fists. You can do what you like and kind of go around the corners of your hips. You can even shake your hips into your hands. And then we'll go down the legs and up the legs 3 times, different places. So we could go outer leg, inner leg, hamstring, take your time in front of the leg, kind of plucking at the knees. 3 times, whatever you still could get. And then a little rounded back. Give some love taps to the lower back, sacrum, kidneys, some sound perhaps. And a little round of applause for your feet. And then again, just take a moment to feel. Now, if an embodied practice is about feeling more at home, more whole, is that starting to happen for you? Be so simple. And then finally, some joint circles. So let's stand on one foot, either foot, and take your other toes back and circle your ankle while you massage your toes on the floor. Find your full breath and change directions. And then change legs. And the speed, size, the tone, the sort of flavor is yours to choose, both ways. Can you feel the whole body? Be aware of your breath as you're here. And change. And now imagine a crayon or a pencil on your nose and draw a circle. Size and speed up to you. And then let your eyes take the lead. So your eyes are going to drive around and around and around. And then switch directions. And maybe your eyes jump into the driver's seat quickly. And as you're looking around, really take in the space. One of the ways we can help ground ourselves is to really land ourselves in a space. Really be available to see what's happening. Let's take our shoulders, some circles. Maybe this ripples through your body, maybe not. And the other direction. We can never truly isolate. So let it move you as you like. Little backstroke. Notice what this does to your spine. Let's take our feet a little wider. Imagine puppet strings on your elbows, on your wrists. Oh, start to yawn like a sea creature. Yawn like you're kind of pulling seaweed out of the mud. And then take your arms out wide. Yawn through your fingers. And then let's make some wrist circles out here while we're holding a really big shape. go the other way. So I'm going to send some resources your way too, but when we hold a big shape, and let's wiggle the fingers out there, we can change our neurochemistry in like 2 minutes. Reverse whatever your fingers are doing to be more confident, more present, more courageous. So see if you can feel that, become a big giant star. And then release and twist. Soften your knees. Be curious where your twist is starting from. There can be many answers. What do you feel? Where's your love tap of your arm in the front and the back? 2 more each side. And then centering, hip circles. Oh yeah, in a world full of chairs, go for it. Hands can dangle, hands can be on your hips, hands can be spontaneous. And you can also kind of scrub in one corner if you need a little more over there. Again, you could go slow, you could go small. Let's change directions. And imagine if there was something balanced on your head. We're also getting a neck circle. We're also getting our feet a little bit more awake on the ground as we shift our weight around. And then finding the center. Let's bring the feet together, bend your knees. Hands above the knees for a little support, knee circles. Start small and slow if this is a new thing for you. Other way. And then come on up. Let's take our feet about hips width, and you get to decide what hips width is for you. Feel a push down into your feet, a little lift through your heart, and then a little release in your knees that waves the spine down. I like to bring my hands to my knees so I can kind of catch myself and allow a little bit of a fall, and then push into your hands and feet to roll up. Let that push lift you up into your heart, and then exhale, wave with a little release. Push into the ground, feel the ground underneath you, lift you from within. Do more. And roll up. We rise again every time. And then come on up. And we're going to give some more love to our hips. This is another favorite that I do every day. Sometimes it's nice to stand on something, but we don't need it. I didn't bring it because I wanted to make this as easy as possible, but it's nice to balance with something. So I'm just going to have one hand to the wall, and I'm going to swing my outer leg. So I'm going to make sure nothing is going to get in the way. And I also kind of lean so that leg has a little more freedom. So if I was standing on something, it would have a lot of freedom. I'm just going to swing my leg while I'm tall. So the trick is to not try to muscle it through and try to let go like a pendulum. I think of a puppet string on my knee. It's just letting that leg fall. And I'm reaching my heart a little bit away from that leg. Almost like it's going to fall out of my hip. And then let your arm go and see if it can find the opposite. So we have this little winding up and throwing away, winding up and throwing away. Again, your intensity is your own and your timing as well. We have a little different proprioception, proportions. Reach up for about 3 more. Feel that stretch of our psoas for all the chairs in our day. 1 more. And then release. Check it out. I thought I saw someone joining. Okay. Notice if it's different, and then let's get ready for the other side. Just small first. So we're really feeling gravity helping us rather than our muscles, the least muscles. We are designed to be self-supporting. We have a built-in anti-gravity power. So let your leg fall, but the other leg and your spine feel buoyant. And then try the other the arm opposite. Breath free. It might be squeezing in and out, but let it just be its own rhythm. And we have this little bit of ringing and throw. Have a little fun with it. Look up. Like we're going to leap into the sky. Last three. Sound effect optional. And release. Catch your breath if you were feeling and breathing your heart rate. Breathe through your nose. And then let's find the back of our space. Actually, not yet. Not quite yet. Bring your feet wide. And similar to our spinal wave we just did, let's press into the feet. Feel that lift up through the heart and the head. But instead of a release, yawn your spine forward in a wave. And then push into the hands and feet. Push through your legs like you're yawning inside of yourself. And again, yawning in an arch coming down. And that yawning feeling on the way up. 2 more. Be totally in your experience. You can go higher, you can go lower. Empty a sigh. Stretch your arms up into the star. And yawn all the way into the webbing of your hands and feet. But let it be free to kind of wiggle or move. It doesn't have to stay static. Oh, a little bit on one side or the other. And then we're going to weave our star and cross one arm to the opposite diagonal. And then change. And think of it as really that waking up in the morning kind of yawn. And you can allow it to move through the body. You can keep it more in the center. This quality of the engaged stretch that we see our animals do is a way to reset parts of the nervous system to kind of change chapters. So if we just really want to like shift, shaking and yawning, spontaneous patterns can be one of the most powerful tools. So last few moments, anything your body wants to do, any part of your body, your wrists, your feet, you can stay up in the star. And then we're going to sea creature, yawn, walk our way in 5 breaths to the back of the mat or the back of your space. Oh, sound effects are awesome here too. And then at the back of the space, let's have the feet wide, reach up, and then squat down as if you're dripping your fingers. And let's find the ground. You could stay bent, you could straighten. You could also go side to side, which is a really wonderful way to coax things open, but also give this sense of flow and change to your nervous system. Life is movement. Life is always changing in this pulsation, coming and going, expanding, contracting. In yoga, we call it spanda. And our physical body responds very well to this kind of movement, this kind of quality. Let's come to hands and knees. And feel the ground. Let yourself have some play with how you want to meet it. So we don't have to have one position of the hands. And feel like you could shift your weight from hand to hand. Also, that includes the other paws. And then sometimes we think of that as coming from above. But see if you can bend your elbows and push a little bit into the ground, as if you're kind of going into the ground and through below. And then let that move your spine. So this is about your felt sense and your body speaking to you, getting that communication more open. The quality of gentle resistance is also a way to get more grounded in our nervous system. So you could go super slow and find one little interesting, infinite place. We could say there's a million poses in here, or you could keep the flow for 3 more breaths. And then feel free to stay with anything you love. Let's take our right leg back. Reach heart and toes, another yawn. And bring your knee to your belly and circle it open for a big hip circle. And reach again. A few of these also tuned into the support. You could push more if you want more heat, or you can let the earth catch you if you want to keep it sweet. And then give that leg total freedom. Where does it want to go? Does it want to land and step? Does it want to keep circling? Does it want to cross back? 3 breaths. Let your animal intelligence, the real AI, take over for a second. When you're ready, change to the other leg. First the yawning and then a couple hip circles. So even if we're going slow, we could add the heat if you want it, anytime by feeling resistance against your support. Give that leg freedom. Maybe that means you want to just be somewhere for 5 breaths, or maybe it wants to explore what's possible today. Breathing through the nose. Let's give our knees a little break. Lift your knees. They could stay bent. You could think of this as down dog. You could think of this as a wild dog, as a puppy dog. But see if you can still connect to the ground. So in this season, number 1, there's so much happening in the world. Number 2, nature is showing us it's time to turn in and slow down. So tuning into the ground, the downward action, we call it apana. The downward root support is one of the best things we can do to slow down the mind, the brain. Let's come back down to hands and knees. Take your right arm forward, grab the floor, pull it back, and then swim, paint a rainbow. Grab the floor, thinking of the downward apana, and then the yawning open. One more. You can also feel what's supporting me underneath. And then change sides. And let it be your own again. So the size, the speed, the angle. Where do you feel more integration? Feel free again to stay anywhere along the path, or switch to your first arm and let it go anywhere it wants. So we could continue to swim. We could reach behind, under. Think of the things we usually do and try to color outside of the lines. Not in an aggressive way like we have to, but in a way of opening up the envelope of what is in our adaptation. We actually can change habits fastest through kinesthetic, through embodied learning, finding new pathways. When you're ready, change arms in your own time. Maybe we like the swimming, or maybe we want to stay rainbow painting, or maybe we want to stay in one place. It could be totally different. Breathe and feel. Breathe and feel. And then when you're ready, let's slide elbows inchworm onto our belly. Make a little pillow. Rest your forehead and totally empty, as if there's a trapdoor on your head to the earth. Empty your heart. Empty your gut instinct. And really feel like we're listening to nature through the earth at this time of turning in, of shedding, of letting go, of intentionally taking things slow. Offer her your breath with a sigh. And then let's come back to either hands and knees or a down dog-ish. Ish because we can keep it moving, we can keep it exploring. And stretch your right leg to the space behind you, wherever it is, whatever it wants to do. Push your hands to feel the freedom of your leg. And then we're going to step to a lunge. And you can decide if you want to be on your knee or on a straight leg. I would suggest bring your hands on the inside for now. And we're going to push down into the ground and then release. So if I'm down on my knee, I'm mostly pushing with my front. One really wonderful kind of halfway thing we could do, hand to your knee as well, instead of hands on the floor. And if I have my legs straight, I can push down with all four paws. And feel that pushing down turns you in. And then the release, radiate gently. Be with this for 3 or 4 breaths. Listening to the whole of you. The quality of our rooted strength and our slowing down. One more. If your knee is down, go ahead and straighten your leg. Take a walk to the left, all the way around to the other side, and find your other side. There's a rush, kind of really settle in and be like, "Ooh, where's this sweet spot on the couch?" And then pushing down and releasing. Either way, maybe it's a little different. Looking for this balance of opposites. The yin and the yang both have the seed of each other. They both consume the other and give birth to the other. Our breath is the constant reminder. If your knee is down, straighten your leg and take a little walk back. And let's come to hands and knees. Slide your hands forward, inchworm, and make prayer hands as a pillow. Plant your intention, your sankalpa, like a seed into the earth. We had some preparation. If you didn't do it, no stress. But just feel in your heart your intention for being here today. Maybe your intention for the close of the year. And then come back to either hands and knees or doggish. Downward doggish. And we'll stretch the other leg, the left leg, wherever it wants to go from the strength of the roots of your hands. And then step this left foot forward. Bring your right hand wide. Knee can be down or up. Stretch your left arm to the sky. And then imagine you're in a sphere and you're going to lean back and we're going to push down into the floor again. And then exhale, everything melts. So we unwind, sort of come back down to the floor. I'm exaggerating so you can see. And then push into the floor and feel the whole pose, almost like you're a big balloon, fill in all directions. And then relax. And you can relax just a little or fall and melt. Two more. Feel that yawning quality from pushing the floor away. And soften. One more at the top. And then hands down. If your knee is down, straight and take a walk to the other side. Knee down or straight. And push the floor to arc back and open to the sky, like a hug to the sky. And a little softening or a big softening. Let the pulsation, the spanda, inform you. So we've completely put our cognitive ideas aside and letting the body take us and teach us our deep wisdom. Staying in there for a breath at the top. And then hands down, take a walk. Last time, around to the front. If you're like dying for plank and coming down, you're welcome to feel that strength or melt one more time to our prostration or pranam. You can make a pillow or maybe even take your prayer overhead and bring your forehead to the earth, straight to Pachamama. Empty what she can carry for you. And then let's come on up to hands and knees. Cross your ankles. Find a seat. If you need socks, blanket, cozy, you can find those. Last one. Now we work with the breath. So we want to be upright. Feel free to sit on a pillow or something, or on the floor, wherever you feel easy posture. We are going to feel for the sides of our ribs. We could use our hands. We could use the back of the hands. We could use the forearms. We could even have one forearm in front and one in back. So I'd like you to just find what's comfortable. And also, for example, I'll use my hands. If the wrists get tired, you just take them out and then return. We want to be able to feel the sides of the ribs and the roundness of the ribs. And many of us have probably experienced alternate nostril breathing. This is alternate lung breathing. So just allowing your breath to move into your hands. Get curious if you can feel the whole circumference, the whole 360. If not, totally fine. And then focus on the right side for 3 breaths. So breathing into the cylinder, the volume of the right side. And as it comes back, you sense the center. Stay on the right with the body as comfortable as possible. And after 3, in your own timing, 3 on the left. Feel free again to shake out your wrists if you need to. Shoulders relaxed, jaw relaxed, eyes relaxed. Your hands at break if you need to. We're going to come back and alternate. So if you don't feel a lot of movement, sometimes it takes the repetition, but we'll put our mind right at this low rib level and breathe one time into the right side. Feel the exhale, bringing awareness to the center, to the spine. And then one to the left. And back and forth. With a gentle breath until the last third, it's like a diaphragm workout. Where to keep the rest of you as comfortable as possible. Like one more round, maybe two, depending where you're at. And in your own time, after you finish alternating, feel 3 in the center. Feel free to shake out your wrists, looking for the full circumference. A little bit of push from the inside on the end of the breath, but keep it sweet, sweet effort. And when you're ready, release your hands. Welcome to close your eyes or drop the gaze so that we're internal and just observe from inside the center of you any movement you notice with your breath. Let's soften the effort and just observe what's there. Body relaxed. And notice if you can breathe without any movement. It's a trick question. Movement creates the breath. So sit with what is behind the movement. When we're at ease, the breath is very quiet. Can you open your inner listening for the breath behind the breath. Relaxing the corners of the eyes, the jaw, the tongue, the throat, belly. Listening for the life force inside of yourself. For the next 2 or 3 minutes, if you'd like to lie down and rest and still be in this inquiry, or remain seated, your choice, and we'll gather after this. There is a Shavasana in your morning. Now's the time. Continue to be curious for the breath behind the breath. And now turn that awareness into your own heart. Rather than one place in the body, we could think of the heart as the whole body. Same system, the same layer that spirals into the heart center. Heart intelligence is everywhere. Our intuition, source in Ayurveda of our true wisdom. Just feel what's alive for you there. And what deep intentions on the level of a resolve that is helping you navigate, helping steer your choices. Feel what intention, sankalpa, you may have already chosen or what bubbles up from that deep wisdom. Empower it with your presence, your love. And slowly start to come back to the space around you, to a little movement in your hands, your feet. Take your sweet time, maybe a yawn. And I'd like you to jot this down in your journal or somewhere, a piece of art, a piece of paper, your intention that arose. And anything else that arrived for you. It can be for today, it can be for the month, it could be for the end of the year. It can be very specific and it can be a feeling. Mm. And then I also invite you to just jot down, what is balance for you? Or the flip side, where where could you seek more balance? What comes up for you? It could be anything. This is for you. We'll talk more later. I like sort of big pots of curiosity. So I'm going to add one more thing. What is living yoga? And you don't have to answer all of these things, but what might that be in relation to finding balance for yourself right now? For like 30 more seconds. And when you're complete, find your seat again. And bring your left hand about the level of your heart, palm facing away. And then the right hand will come towards you and will clasp the hands strong, making this kind of round. I don't know. I always feel like I'm hugging a redwood tree, personally, with a little bit of tension or a little bit of pulling apart, lifting the heart through the center. Notice the quality of the feeling here. So, a mudra is any gesture that has the power to change our state. It could be of the hands, it could be of the body. This is Ganesh mudra. Ganesh is the gatekeeper. Often we say the remover of obstacles, or the one who gives us the strength to face obstacles. But he's also considered the gatekeeper when we are walking through a threshold. And he gives us the strength to keep walking. So just breathe in that feeling for yourself. He's also the one who opens the path to beginning. So we honor the power of Ganesh beginning this day together. If you like to add for yourself the resonance, the seed syllable that empowers those qualities, gum, om gum, 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 ganapataye namaha. And then allow your hands to dissolve. Left palm up, right hand on top, like you have a little seed in your hand, like this. And then options. You can place this at your heart, solar plexus, root, or on your right leg. Which feels best for you? Tall spine, feel the quality. Sankalpa mudra, the mudra of our commitment, our resolve. It's like that's the seed inside that we're tending. So just feeling or even repeating your intention to yourself. And then release. We'll finish with a body blessing. So we'll bring the right hand with your middle ring and thumb fingers together. Traditional Tantrik body blessing by touching your heart. And the Tantric path is a non-dual path that saw the divine inside of us and blessed that every single day. So in the heart, we bow to the soul within, the deepest soul that connects us to all of life. Om Atmane Namaha. Bow to the soul within. And then bring your fingers to your throat. And that wisdom from the heart bubbles up through our voice, our communication. And we bow to seeing the soul in others, to our ability to see the divine in each other. And may that impact and color our speech and our actions. Om Antar Atmane Namaha. And then touching your forehead, your third eye, to the wisdom of that great soul, that divine life force intelligence. May our wisdom be blessed and not clouded by the ego mind, the distractions, pure wisdom. Om Jnana Atmane Namaha. And then touch the very top of your head. Where in the old text said the soul entered and exited from the top of the head. And we honor the great soul beyond, the great mystery. May it always bring us awe and curiosity like a child. Om Parama Atmane Namaha. And then imagine a tremendously, outrageously beautiful flower of your choice. And you imagine putting it right on top of your head. And I really think of my beautiful teacher, Shiva Ray, who would always have the most outrageous imaginations of flowers. And you bless this body. Let your hands come down. And just take a moment to feel those layers of self that are real, we often forget. And if they don't feel real right now, that's okay too. And take one hand to your heart, the other on top, like a little hug. Give it a little rub, little circle. Thank yourself for the first hardest thing sometimes is taking the time. I know that for myself. It's part of my intention going forward. And I'm really grateful for each of you being here. Um, we're just going to take this energy with us, and we'll see you in 2 hours. And you'll get an email right before or an hour before each session with like a little recap of some things so you don't have to worry about remembering them and what you might want to bring or prepare. So I'll see you in 2 hours.